Alright everyone, the other day you had a surreal moment on Fox News, and for years now I've still combated with people over this. They think that Fox News is better than the rest of the legacy media. Our multi-billionaire run globalistic corporation is more fair and balanced than yours. Why? Usually it's Tucker Carlson, and I'm going to be doing an exclusive at some point about him because I'm tired of the Tucker Carlson cult. It's really funny. Our millionaire is so much more straight-laced and fair and honest and totally not controlled opposition of any kind, just like Ann Coulter or something like that. But Newt Gingrich comes on, I think it was on Outnumbered, and he's talking about political events. And then he talks about George Soros, who provably funds far-left causes, like People for the American Way, of which Right Wing Watch is a subsidiary. Some of their money comes from the Open Society Foundation. And it's not even a secret, dude. It's publicly disclosed. Soros, if confronted, would just tell you, yeah, I fund activistic causes. He sees no problem with it, thinks that they're great. When it comes to combating drug laws, actually, George Soros has been instrumental in some good things. The problem is he also gives a very large amount of money to people who are burning down Kenosha at the moment. But he invokes George Soros and says, well, look at his involvement in some of the rioting and shit that's going on. And the host just sits there and like, I'm not sure that we need to talk about George Soros. Now, I'm not sure. And Gingrich is like, well, okay. She's like, it's verboten. It's really funny. Think about the surrealness of the situation. Newt Gingrich is not a populist. He's not like a Trump publican figure. He's an old wave 80s, 90s sort of standard Republican. He'd fit in more with the Pat Robertson crowd. He has more religious beliefs. Wanted to ease child labor laws when he was running. Basically, when he was running, I think that was in the election with Ron Paul, if I remember correctly, the Republican nomination. Other than Santorum, he would have been sort of the actual right-winger there. More of a standard conservative, the kind that does talk radio and stuff like that. That's his kind of conservative, his kind of mentality. He's not an out-there guy, and the insinuation among some that simply mentioning George Soros in the context of political donations being used for malevolent purposes, it's surreal that a person would consider that to be a conspiracy theory, number one, particularly out there, number two, and certainly on Fox News as a network outside of the realm of what you want to talk about. George Soros is beyond the pale. Did you not platform Glenn Beck for like half a decade, well past his fucking expiration date, and now literally every night? What would Glenn Beck be known for before he destroyed his own career by doing the same fucking shtick every night, not expecting people to watch it? He would take out his big chalkboard, and George Soros was in the middle, and night after night after night he'd talk about all the things he was connected to. Now, the single-minded fixation of many people on the right, or I should say the anti-left, because I'm part of the anti-left, but I'm not a conservative. I'm certainly not a member of the GOP. The single-minded fixation among some on George Soros is undue. There are plenty of people that conduct themselves in a similar manner. Michael Bloomberg comes to mind. Bloomberg's pumping $100 million fucking dollars into the Florida race on behalf of Joe Biden and other Democrats at the moment. These people are massively wealthy. They didn't get their wealth through philanthropy. They're basically taking money that they got through, in some cases, war profiteering, bilking people, ignoring environmental regulations, and screwing workers. That's how these people made their fortunes by and large. By the way, if you point this out with regards to other billionaires, the productive class of billionaires that actually are still making jobs, people like Bernie Sanders will applaud you, nod their heads, say, oh, that's absolutely true. But if you aim it at Soros, or you aim it at Bloomberg, other corrupt billionaires, all of a sudden then it's verboten. You're not allowed to talk about that. They've even gone so far as to claim that criticism of George Soros is anti-Semitic. That's really funny, since I believe that it is actually documented reality that he did help round up Jews for the Gestapo, okay, in order to save his own skin. Now, I know what you'd say, of course, well, it's war, you do what you need to do to survive. Okay, maybe so, but again, most of the criticism of Soros comes from the fact that he's massively wealthy and pretends to be a philanthropist, number one, and number two, he funds these fucking weird causes. Right Wing Watch is, in part, an asset of the Open Society Foundation by virtue of where its money comes from through PFAW. That's just the fact. I remember when Jared Holt tried to deny that, and when you pointed out it was really deleted his tweet. That was like last year at some point. I fondly remember those days. It was like, whoops, here's a Wikipedia article for you to read. It was really funny. But for them to essentially censor Newt Gingrich, of all people, the most, again, fairly standard milquetoast 80s conservative, sort of fits in with that crowd of people. They wear the tweed suit and they go golfing and smoke cigars. You know, hanging out with a Pat Robertson maybe, hanging out with talk show hosts. You know, he's gonna hang out with Ted Nugent or something maybe once in a while. They'll go shoot things and not like Dick Cheney did. Maybe even like the Bush crowd. He'd pal around with maybe the Bush family or something. Although he's clearly chosen at this point, he prefers the populism of Trump to like the Jeb Neocon side of things. He's not really out there, and the insinuation by Fox, again, of all networks, that George Soros is a verboten topic is surreal. It's fucking hilarious. Meanwhile, he should go on Carlson's show and mention George Soros, see if he can antagonize him into attacking his own network. Who put out the circular? How much did the Open Society Foundation donate to Fox's parent firm before this occurred? How much corporate cash traded hands in order for him to skate? Maybe there was a shakedown involved. Fox is like, oh yeah, we'll stop crucifying you if you make a donation to this pro-gun fund or something like that through a slush fund from China. That's what happens. You know, a lot of that money that's being bundled for the DNC through ActBlue is coming from untraceable sources. I wonder what the actual sources are. Could they be foreign? Could it be illegal campaign donations? Oh, the world will never know because of our screwy billionaire corrupted election system and the donations that keep coming. Most of these people, their assets are mostly not even the U.S. Why are they allowed to donate anything into the elections? Again, the world may never know. Oh, that's right, it's Citizens United. Something the Democrats occasionally still pretend to dislike, while taking money from Mark Zuckerberg and so forth. George Soros is, he's a corrupt, crooked dude. He's a weird dude. And he's extremely far left, and I mean a real far leftist. The funny part is, you have somebody who is funding left-wing causes who would actually, if they took hold, if they actually, those left-wing causes won, they would lose everything. It's because they don't intend them to win. The whole point is just to stoke antagonism and discord. That's about all. Peace out.